The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbb-radio.com.
Oh, wow. Whoa, what is going on? Oh, hey, what's up? Welcome to 71Kicks, everybody. How we doing, everyone? Alec is here. We got Zach here as well. Oh, man. Gotta keep the shades on right now, you know? It's just been, it was a little shady during the year, during this pod, a little bit.
Weather's been great the last couple days.
It's been great out here. Buffalo weather's been great. Arsenal's been great. And, yeah, man, it's just all that shade and, you know, it's just been getting a little quiet, you know? Gotten a lot real quiet the past week, I'd say, ever since last Tuesday. I don't know. It's been a changing of the guard, you could say, almost, in England, you know? We had a big weekend of a lot of big things happening. Pep Guardiola no longer at Man City. Sunderland qualified for European football.
Yeah.
That's huge, actually. That's huge. You know, from the foundations where this podcast started with talking about teams outside of the top six, Sunderland qualifying in their first season back in the league and getting Europa League right now. That's huge. We also Aston Villa Champions League, I believe.
Yep.
Villa winning the Europa League final last week.
Had to say goodbye to West Ham, unfortunately.
Said goodbye to West Ham. Tough. You know, it was
The Graham Potter effect.
yeah.
And your club in a hole, and you got to climb out, and they didn't have enough to climb out. So.
And the toughest part about that too was watching West Ham win their game, and then to watch Everton, who came out just mere a couple weeks ago, and they got the result against City. All they needed to do was get a result against Tottenham, who had not won a game at all at home basically all year. I think maybe that was their second home win.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
It was tough, man. That was tough. But I think the toughest part not for me at all. Toughest part, I'd say, for any of you folks watching at home, and for my two colleagues here, is watching us win and lift that trophy on Sunday, everyone. Because for the first time in 22 years, Arsenal has won the Premier League. Just waiting to hear the congratulations, and just waiting to hear anything from.
You won't hear it out of me.
Waiting to hear anything at all.
You won't hear
anything.
It out of me.
I know I won't hear it from you guys. Believe me, it's crazy. I have so many like soccer fans and just footy fans that I know who are fans of the other teams who had not said a word, and it's like, you know, it's all fun, rah, rah, rah. You know, I get to play Chelsea during the year. You know, one of my Chelsea buddies, she always has to hit me up being like, oh, that Arsenal. Oh, what's going on? She hasn't said a peep. Yeah, it's just crazy. One of the Man City guys that I know, he was so upset about it. Oh, man. It's tough. It's tough times out there for people who don't want to, you know, support the best team in the league and possibly the best, supported team all around the world. The scenes that took place just last Tuesday at the Emirates, but you saw in like Kenya, in New York, just everywhere. It's been worldwide, the party. And it ain't stopping, folks, because we got this Saturday as well to look forward to, which is going to be quite possibly one of the biggest pay-per-view matches you'll ever see of all time in terms of, you know, Arsenal fans and supporters. The potential of what could happen this weekend is massive. Massive, massive. The first English team to do a double since City, since the early 2020s here, and only the fourth English team to do a double, which would be massive. The European double, if we're saying that, you know, league and European double. I know City just did that this week. It's just like, and if you watch and hear any of the players, it's like just such a breath of fresh air and relief right now. This league is wrapped up for the first time in years. It's been a long time coming, but we did it. You know, we did it. We did it, and I apologize for not being here for the raw reactions when we did it
It's
last Tuesday. Because
fine.
man, yeah, I had a time. It was crazy. Um, yeah, man, but it's just crazy stuff right now. Crazy times, crazy times, crazy times. It like when we advanced and it was the prospect of playing PSG and Bayern in the final. You could ask any Arsenal fan around that time, and it was like, oh man, this is just going to be a disaster. Like, well, who knows what's going to happen in this? It's going to, we might get clobbered. It might be this, that. But the hinge of what was going to be dependent on how well we do in this final was winning the league. And we wrapped that up, and the confidence that has been pushed into the team just with the league win, but not just that, with like the form that they found in this last run in of games. It's like, again, a changing of guard has just taken place this weekend, and to deny that and to be, I'm trying to find the other words to describe it. It's like, I guess just, yeah, to deny it is it's gonna be rough, And I feel like the reign of terror that City was on for all these years, people are just, it's gonna be much worse and like so torturous to see what could happen in the next, batch of year. I will say though, to segue, because I'm sorry that I'm just running away with it right here, but I will
Do
say,
what you gotta do.
if there's anybody to come in and present a challenge next year, I will say that there's two teams that I'm worrying about. You got Man United with Carrick, because they just had such a bounce with him coming in this past couple weeks. Granted, they had some speed bumps, but said at the start of the season they could do something, and with the right manager now going into next year, they still could do something. You got United and Yabi Alonso going to Chelsea. This is the biggest wild card that's going to
That makes
jump
one of
into.
us worried about Chelsea next season.
It's the biggest wild card going into next season because of the prospect of, it's the Arteta effect of what it's going on. You guys are in such a state, in such disarray, that you need a manager who needs to prove themselves and has something, a squad that also needs to prove themselves and something to prove, and a young squad, a manager with tactics, a manager that can get the support of the team and, like, the locker room, because like, I'm all over the place right now, but like the Real Madrid drama that's come out in the past 2 weeks, it's insane to think that, like, at one point in time he had Mbappe on his side, and like, this what was it, Arola, like, didn't have the locker room and had it divided. So I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you guys have potential to do something if, you got the proper signings in the back, and hold on to your
In the
players.
wing, in the midfield.
Yeah. That's been
and
the
up front,
fun, main
and
topic of conversation mostly for,
everywhere.
yeah.
But
I don't know. I think it could happen for you.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah.
No Europe will hopefully be a, you know, just unacceptable from a standpoint as a Chelsea fan. But um, to be honest, would rather be no Europe than Conference League.
Right.
I think if we would have won, we would have. I think we would have squeezed into that Europa League spot, which that Sunderland ended up taking, which I would have been happy with given how poor things have gone this season.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean in general unacceptable, but I do am interested in the fact that with us only going to be playing games one a week, besides like the couple weeks here and there where you play multiple prem games in a week. I'm excited for Alonso just to be able to focus on the league.
Exactly.
Doesn't have to focus on rotation as much. Like you should be able to play all your best players just about every single game. Um, bar like December when you got to kind of rotate a little bit here and there and just rotate a little bit, just keep some people happy that are over the top. But yeah, like you see the names that are being thrown around that Alonso wants. We see the names. It seems like everybody's been linked with a move away from us in the last week and a half or so. What's gonna happen? I don't know. Like it feels like Enzo Fernandez is gone. I'm hoping Alonso uses that Real Madrid connection to bring somebody in from them too. Whether it's not gonna be like a swap deal, just don't happen. Yeah, I mean that's all I got. I don't think we're going to compete for the title next season. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, the thing
Um,
is, it's the lack of European football season. This is
yeah,
the same thing that Arteta had in his
and
like his
Carrick had
first
this
full
year
season,
when
and
he,
Carrick had
yeah,
this year. It's what it's a great sort of time for managers to work with their team and like get the
yeah,
team on the same page because you're spending so much time preparing for one game and then the next, and like you can't focus on just what's in right in front of you, which is the squad that you need to like build that chemistry with. And like I understand you when you can build it through the game time, but like and through the cup competitions, but there's so much backroom stuff that needs to go on with
yeah.
you guys that like it's got to get
It's
sorted out.
bigger. It's bigger than just, oh, we need a new coach and we need new players. Like
Right. Club
it's
system
just the system's not
fundamentals.
working. Um, Alonso being manager, he's getting some control over transfers or some say in transfers, which hopefully means they won't just buy people and say figure it out, like the Garnachos that
Hmm.
the Delaps, who are just that fucking guy is just the worst player I think I've ever seen wear a Chelsea jersey. If I was a Barcelona fan and remember that he scored on them this season, I don't know what I would
Right,
do,
yeah.
but
I
like,
just saw that highlight video that was when
yep,
it was like the
just
meme video of just
it's
like
like
all
the
his
one
goals. It's like
goal.
4 goals he scored
It's like
in the year.
I think Fulham
They're
and
just tap-ins. They were all like
yeah,
in the box, just like right there. Which I
yeah,
mean, as a striker, this is where you're gonna be. But
yeah, but he's literally useless with his feet.
yeah.
I think I've seen him sky, you know, 10 over the bar from within 12 yards this season. It feels like in all comps probably. He's got more yellow cards than goals. I think he's got as many red cards as goals in the league at least. Like it's
But
whoever is doing recruitment. I feel like I should know this, but like whoever the decisions for some of these players, where I know who the person that recommended Garnacho got fired and rightfully so. You're a
mm,
fucking loser. Get out of my club. Thank God. I don't want to make this all about Chelsea though, because we got some bigger
no,
fish to
exactly. But
fry. But
what I was gonna thank you for segueing out because like what I was trying to get at with that is like I'm it's not that hard to give credit where
yeah,
it's due. You
oh,
guys got some work that'll get
oh,
done over the summer, but I think you guys will come back next year and it's gonna be
I appreciate that.
yeah,
And
exactly.
I hope you're right, but I
It's
just
that easy though. It's that
yeah,
easy to give your regards and pay thoughts forward to people in times when especially when they're hurting. But even when times when they're prospering and they have things that they can celebrate. It's not that difficult. So it's
I mean, I was going the opposite direction. I was going to bring up the fact that it's ridiculous that Arsenal got away without getting a single red card this season
no.
or
Oh,
giving up a
don't.
single penalty.
I'm not gonna
Because
even
there's
say it. I don't want
no
to say it.
fucking
There's one more game
way.
left to play, everybody. One more
There's
game left, and that stat has come out
I
right
think it's
before
just
the
the
last
Premier.
game of
I
the
think it's just the
season.
Premier League. I don't know if it carried over to Europe and
I don't know
everything.
if it carried into Europe, but I
And
can't
cups and stuff.
remember. Like
But
I can't remember anybody getting any cards in like
but
the.
either way, that is just the most obnoxious, ridiculous thing to ever happen. The fact that not a single, I mean, there's been multiple situations that are any other time would have been red cards, but except for Arsenal this season, for whatever reason, um, I'm thinking the Gabriel headbutt, the Kai Havertz studs to the calf. I didn't know that's not a red card anymore. Um, the
All I'm gonna say
the
on it.
David Raya punching people in the head, that's okay
All I'm gonna
nowadays.
say on it is
Declan
that
Rice bear hugging somebody and flicking the ball on with his arm like he's bumping a volleyball, that's okay.
we
That's not a penalty
paid
anymore.
our dues. We paid our dues
Here
with
we go.
dodgy VAR not VAR calls, but even if you want to say VAR, we paid our dues with dodgy VAR calls even before the age of VAR. Arsenal was the most targeted team and had such bullshit calls that were not given and that were just like blatantly ignored by the PGMOL in times where they easily could have given the car like the fouls to us or against us, whatever you want to call it and how do you want to say it. Like right before the West Ham game, I was seeing all these highlights from a game like prime Barclays days with like Alan Pardew as the manager of West Ham, and it was Wenger going at it with them. And in the middle of the game, there was such a blatant like penalty in the box that was just this dude tackled our guy going in on goal. And it wasn't given as a penalty, and the ref was just—it's like the ref was wearing these sunglasses and blind, like just not paying attention. And it's like, what a minor example of just the BS that was, we've had to deal with through years. I am just so I can give two shits about being on the other side of getting these calls now, because it's like we suffered for so long, and now everybody has to suffer and enjoy the suffering that we had to deal with, because it's like for years, like even in this season, there were probably calls that we didn't get that were given, and it's just you want to talk about dodgy and stupid calls. The two red cards we got last year of Declan Rice just tapping a ball because there was the new rule that isn't enforced anymore. By the way, you kick a ball away after the ref blows, milliseconds after the ref blows, and then you get the red card. All right, doesn't get given anymore. But Trossard got one as well in the City game for that. So those are just disciplinary things. You want to call them disciplinary, but like we have been through it with getting the cards. And again, I'm not saying I don't want to talk about this conversation at all, because we have one more game left, and I'm not even going to say it. I don't even want to say what could possibly happen if one more game is left and this stat has come out. No red cards, no penalties. Oh shit. They got one more game left, and I don't even want to say the possibility of what could happen in that game. So there's still time. There's still time for that stat to be flubbed and change. But we're going against PSG, who will have Dembele back in the starting lineup. Achraf Hakimi also just was in the news that he's back in team training, so he's going to start the game possibly. Yeah, this is the prospect of what could happen with this Champions League game is insane. But did we talk about it in our last episode when I was with you about the playtime for the PSG players versus the Arsenal team? Because
I don't think we mentioned it.
the PSG playtimes, like the minutes they logged this season, came out, and it's like the entire 11 that plays in the Champions League barely played like at all in the league this year. I
They
think
literally
they played like 2,000 minutes each, or like below or something like that, which is Arsenal players. You look at what they played. I think it was doubled the amount of time. Zubamendi played every game in the league, and I think they were clocking in at like 4,000 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they literally cruise controlled the league title this season.
they did, which
like,
is
just. I mean, that's what you have. That is their benefit, is that they have such a deep squad, and they have these games that they can kind of just coast through with some of their, I don't say weaker players, but some of their players that maybe aren't always starters, like and some of these teenagers that they've been playing, and
right.
like they can kind of get away with some of these games, and it was a little bit closer this year than it probably needed to be. Lens put up a good fight for them this season.
They did.
In general, like I think that's just the, especially under Enrique, where he's got these guys running like maniacs when they're on the pitch.
What I think
very interesting and honestly very smart. Like
it's smart game management for those guys for sure. But at the same time, it's like, do they have the sort of like sharpness that they're going to need in the stakes of a game like this? Because when you spend that much time during the year not playing, you're going to be a bit more on edge when you are playing in some of these games. If the stakes like maybe aren't there, sure, but now that you're in a Champions League final, like that is added pressure to players that haven't played enough. Whereas like we're fresh off the first league win in 22 years. We've had guys that have just been playing all season. The Crystal Palace game was the first game of the year that they had some genuine rotation and rest for a lot of the guys. So I think just as a sharpness standpoint, we have somewhat of an advantage there just because of the playtime with a lot of these guys. But that doesn't that shouldn't overlay the fact that they got two of the best attackers in the world of Dembele and Kvaratskhelia, because watching I can't say his name for the life of me. Kvaratskhelia, watching him play in that Bayern series was just bananas. Like, he is so lethal on the wing. And that's our weakest flank right now, because we had Ben White go down right before this series, and like we don't know if Timber is going to start. Could be a miracle if he comes back. So we'll see what goes on there. But
I just have some words for PSG, if you don't mind.
Go for it. Words of encouragement.
I gotta speak to them. I don't know if it's words of encouragement. I would say, but PSG coming to you as representative of not just the Chelsea fan base, not just the rest of the English football fan base, not just the fan base of the Europeans. I'm coming to you as representative of the fan base of the world. Whether even fans that aren't, even people that aren't soccer fans or football fans, depending where you're from. Even they don't want to see Arsenal win the Champions League this season. Nobody does, especially me. Me, probably as much as anybody out there, does not want to see them win the Champions League. I can handle them winning the Premier League. They've been there, done that before. Just with a little hiatus, whatever they won, I can handle it. What I can't handle is not being the only club in London to win the Champions League. I can't handle Arsenal being within touching distance and being able to sing Champions of Europe over and over and over and over again. You have been there as recently as last year. You put belt to ass on Inter Milan. They didn't stand a chance. And I need you to do the same thing on Saturday. The same thing. There's no if, and, buts, or maybes. There's only absolutes. And I absolutely need you to put belt to ass. We can't do it. The world can't handle this, okay? I'm gonna have to go into hiding for a week, if not the rest of my life. I can't show my face in public. I can't do it. Because if I see an Arsenal fan and they say something, I'll lose my mind. I can't go on social media ever again. Because what if I see? Oh, Saka's better than Messi. Gyökeres is better than any striker ever. Oh, David Raya is the greatest goalie in Premier League history. Gabriel Saliba, nobody ever better. Jurrien Timber, he's better than Reece James. I gotta see all that shit over and over again. Over and over. And Declan Rice, he should win the Ballon d'Or because he passes backwards and sideways over and 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 over again. So please, for the love of God, I am begging you. I'm not gonna get on my knees 'cause it's a little crazy, but I'm begging you. Save us all. Like, honestly, if Arsenal win, if the zombie apocalypse started in that moment, I would be okay with it. If the aliens invaded and took over the planet and turned us all into a hive mind, I'd be okay with it. If Benjamin Netanyahu decided to strike us all down, I would be okay with it. Because death and bondage is a better life than experiencing Arsenal win the Champions League. And that is all I have to say. Please, for the love of God and all that is holy, or whatever religion you follow, because I know not all of you players are Catholic, save us all. Just please save us all. Thank you. Please, I'm begging you. I can't do it.
All right.
I can't do it.
And if I may, I'll have just a couple words for PSG as well. PSG, Paris, what's up? How we doing? Listen, we came across you guys last year in the Champions League in the semifinal. Actually, you got an early start, early advantage against us. I'll give you that. But those were 2 games of study time, tape time for Arteta. You got a live look at you watching from the sidelines. And I'm sure that mad genius spent, instead of watching I know what he did last week, but instead of watching the Man City game, I know that mad genius was just locked up in a room watching your tape, watching how you guys have been playing this year. And granted, he's probably watching some players and, formations and teams on the field that may not be playing in this final because, again, you rested half the team for most of the season. But you're just another oil club. You're just another oil club. And let me tell you what, we just conquered the oil club that we've been going at it with in the past 5 years. And you're just another step in the way. If we can do it against City, we can do it against you too. We're coming at you with everything we got, with nothing but just maximum fucking energy to win this game.
Corners. Lots of
corners
off
of Kai Havertz's big ass head. Thanks to this gentleman for selling them to us. And we are going to demolish. I was on the way up and I'm like, what could this score even be? Because if we start teeing off, it could be 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, 3 something like that. I'm thinking 3 goals. I'm calling a score prediction early here. 3 goals because you got who's in goal? Who's this nobody you got right now in goal? You sold your goalkeeper to City, and what did we do against him there? We chipped them and we beat them and our not beat them, but we tied them at the Emirates. Yeah, Donnarumma's old news for you. You got no defense now. He was the only thing stopping us from beating you guys last season, and this is gonna. We'll see to the death this weekend. I want to see these guys just give it all because I'm not getting too worked up. I'm not gonna get worked up, but this is we're coming at you. All right, watch your fucking backs. Watch your backs. I'm not.
PSG, this is exactly why you need to save us all. This is exactly why you need to save us all. You see how crazy he's talking? He's talking 3 goals. 3. When all they do is try to score off of corner kicks and free kicks and any other set piece that they can get their hands on.
And we put them in.
This is why
And what
you need
happened
to save us all.
in their semifinal? They let in like what 8 goals or 7 goals or something like that
It was
because they played
Bayern
Bayern.
Munich.
Exactly.
We have like 120 goals this season.
Which is actually insane, to be fair. Yes, Harry
Arsenal
Kane.
have like 50.
I will say this: I'm not.
I mean, it's more than that, but
I've jumped off the Declan Rice Ballon conversation just because Harry Kane, when I saw his stat recently, 70 something goals and like all contributions, insane. That man deserves this trophy this year, regardless of what goes on in the World Cup, because he's getting his flowers at this point in his career. He won his first cup final actually over the weekend with Germany, not Germany, with Bayern, but you know what I mean.
Hat trick in the final.
Hat trick in the final. Yeah, the goals that he ripped that shot from outside the box. It's like the guy is on a mission, and yeah, I think if he's healthy through the World Cup and if he gets enough service, he can do some damage, and yeah, it'd be crazy. But
Speaking of the World Cup,
speaking of the World Cup, everybody, the U.S. team's lineup has just come out,
and Pochettino,
it's interesting.
you buffoon.
It's interesting.
You silly buffoon.
I
don't know if you want to read through all the players first.
I won't read
or-
all the players, but I'll
or-
just read some of the the key names and things. Like,
I think we need to read through the whole.
all right, we could do that.
I
So,
can do it.
we
if
got
you want to.
goalkeepers: Chris Brady.
Who?
Matt
Keep in mind,
Freese.
Chris Brady has not had a cap yet, and I granted he's the third choice keeper. He probably won't touch the pitch.
What's crazy is he's listed as the first name on here
Yeah,
for
which
the
I
keepers.
think it's meant
I
to
don't
be
know
like
if it's like an alphabetical
or-
thing, but like, you got him, Matt Freese, and then Matt Turner. We'll see what goes on in the net there. Defenders, we got Max Arfston, Serginho Denst, Alex Freeman, Mark McKenzie, Tim Ream, Chris Richards, Anthony Robinson, Miles Robinson, Joe Scally, and Austin Trusty. You got some names that are, Jedi's there, Tim Ream's there, like we were talking, for just, kind of locker room support, leadership kind of thing. Trusty's been in the team for a bit, so it's not too bad there. Midfield, we got Tyler Adams, Sebastian Berhalter, Weston McKennie, Christian Roldan, Brendan Aronson, Gio Reyna, Malik Tillman, and Tim Way. I was a little surprised about Gio getting in, but
Yeah, but he just always shows up when he's in the jersey. Which
one of those
maybe not
international
like
guys.
crazy performances, but always puts in a solid shift typically.
For sure.
So I see why he's there.
And then in attack, Pulisic, Alejandro Zendejas, Fullerin Balogun, Ricardo Pepe, and Haji Wright. Now, the one I'll bring up right here, and I'll let you go on after, but like, this was just crazy to see because Diego Luna's left out after being all over U.S. promotion for the Cup this summer, all over being the face of U.S. soccer, and now he's just left out. It's like, okay, sure. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't change the coach's decisions based on like, what would be the word be, like marketing, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that was just an interesting choice. And I saw a stat. He's like 5 goals and assists in the past 7 games for him right now in the MLS. Like, he's on a tear, warming up. So we'll see. Again, like, there's zero like expectations for what this team could do right now. It's we would love to see them do something, but like the expectation for them to push on in this tournament is what can you expect? So it's an interesting outlook here going in.
Yep.
Just a couple weeks away, everybody.
Um, there's one name I need to talk about. Because I think I mentioned if we bring him, it's just a biggest mistake and a waste of a roster spot we could ever use. And I'm gonna double down and triple down and quadruple down and whatever it be 50 time down. What are we doing bringing Christian fucking Roldan?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
What does he offer you this team? Just full stop. What does Christian Roldan offer this team? And if I'm not mistaken, I gotta fact check myself here. Maybe somebody can just fact check me, when they're watching or double check. I believe he didn't play a minute at the last World Cup. And now we have guys who are playing better, more meaningful, more significant minutes who are coming off of good seasons. And Tanner Tessman, who was called up to the national team pretty much every time recently, had a very solid season with Liga or with Lyon and Liga, and had a very good Europa League campaign this season. But he's left at home. And then, I don't think he's the greatest player in the world or anything. He didn't really, you know, show too much in my opinion. But as a backup, I think he would offer more than Christian Roldan would. And Aiden Morris, who had a really good season with Middlesbrough in the Champions League. Then, unfortunately, they just missed out on promotion um, in the playoff after Spygate with Southampton. Um, but it's just everything that we have ever talked about being wrong with U.S. soccer summed up by one person and one player. And it's just a sign that despite all this talent that we claim we're producing and all these players that have come through and the expectation that this should be the best team we've had going into a World Cup, and you bring someone like Christian Roldan that just shows that, well, maybe we haven't made that much progress. And I really think that's what it's come down to now is that sure we have some better players in positions that we didn't have before, and people love to be nostalgic about like Michael Bradley and Landon Donovan, but like if we're being you know serious and being for real, like Tyler Adams is a better player than Michael Bradley ever was. I that might ruffle some people's feathers, but Tyler Adams in a United States men's national team kit, in a Bournemouth kit, when he was in a Leeds kit, when he was in a RB Leipzig kit, when he was in a New York Red Bulls kit, even has always shown me more than Michael Bradley ever had or has. Um,
Can't argue
he's
that.
going to be the captain for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason, you know, he's linked with some, potential big clubs this summer. If there's a reason Bournemouth are going to be playing Europa League football next season. Um, but I'm not saying it's all on him. That's a bit crazy to just say it's all Tyrone. But there's a reason why he's in that a team that's going to be playing Europa League football next season as a starter when he is fully healthy.
And he even had a rough season because he was dealing with injury a lot of the
He's
year.
always
So
dealing with
even
injuries,
once he came
but
back, he was still finding his place into that team, which is huge to say. So
yeah.
it's
So overall, um, is the squad fine?
say
Yeah,
it's passable.
for what we were expecting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's we're not anybody with the expectation that we were going to make a run. That was never going to happen here. That's just not you know um it's not really realistic. Um, there's people in the well, there's people in you know Americans that don't understand how World Cup works. That are like, why is Messi not on the team?
Yeah, of course.
Please, before you make dumb comments, just educate yourself on how
Oh
World
yeah.
Cup works. I'm excited for World Cup. I do want the U.S. population bandwagoning the United States men's national team for just to make the games fun, because the actual games themselves might actually be torture.
Well,
It might be better to watch paint dry.
what we're also going to get at
Um,
these games is such a lack of international representation right now,
yeah,
and because that's a huge conversation to be having of like these hotels are not booked, the um like tickets are still not moving, and it's all due to the fact of just these inflated prices and just how
yep,
insane it is to like
yep,
just acquire one of these fucking tickets right now. So it's like it's going to be very interesting to see how these stands and like how the energy is in these stadiums for them, because
yeah,
like if these some of that's a huge part to these tournaments is like the international representation and like how these teams can thrive when they're in that arena with what feels like a home field advantage sometimes. And if there's not enough, traveling fans, this is exactly as I said, the chance for U.S. fans, especially these, you know, rich as fuck, idiots who are going to have the money to go to these games and I'm going to go watch some U.S. soccer, yeah, oh yes, let's go U.S. national. But oh wait, why is Cristiano Ronaldo not down there? I thought he was that's exactly
yeah.
the kind of fan that they're going to get at these games. Which, if FIFA, if that's what you want, in the stands, you got money coming. The money's going to show up and it'll be there. They're not going to be fans though.
Corporate greed. That's
Corporate
all.
greed,
That's really all you can call it.
and so I'm just waiting for day of for some of these games. I'm going to look at like day of tickets, because if I can drive down to like Philly or drive up to Toronto for a game, I
Yeah.
will 1,000,000% do it for a cheaper ticket. But I'm not paying these prices right now, FIFA. So you can go fuck yourselves with that. Um, Even with in New York, which is killing me, because it's like if I were back home and if I wanted to travel to MetLife for a game, I don't think you could park there.
I think you
And
can only park at the Dream Mall. I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
that's the only parking like somewhat nearby.
Right,
There might be
because
some other like private lots or
they're preventing
whatever.
parking at the stadium, so that way they're forcing people to take trains from New York to Jersey for it, and they're not going to let you pay the standard pricing for it. They're inflating the ticket to MetLife to $100 from $13. It's just the most insane cash grab I've ever seen being
Greed.
like
Just
taking place right now.
pure greed.
And like that's just a sign of the entertainment industry in general right now, with all
Yep.
these businesses, these music artists that are trying to book these massive shows and they're barely moving tickets. Like it's just a sign of the times. Like we're in a
Yep.
recession, we're in whatever you want to call it.
I'm
We're in
gonna
the
I'm gonna put some blame on everyone's favorite, it's Taylor Swift, because she
she
claims
ruined the
no,
industry. No,
no,
straight up
like
she
straight
did.
up, like
She did.
all funny shit aside, like
No, exactly.
she like she claims to be all for the people and fan friendly and all these things, and talks about how much she loves her fan base and everything, and
Meanwhile,
meanwhile you
the biggest
completely took
capitalist.
advantage of them, and the buy-in for your concert was like $900, and now everybody thinks that their value is higher than it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
of course, Ticketmaster's not saying no to this because they're making so much fucking money.
hmm The
The
resale
resale
value.
resale value on all these other resale markets are all, just ridiculous. So it's just one, so and then I really feel like it all started with Taylor Swift. Like, I mean,
It really did.
it was always increasing, but like these dramatic prices that we're seeing, I feel like have not, just started with Taylor Swift.
But it just shows
But
but exactly as you're saying though, it shows the level of delusion and idiocy that some people have with their money to be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna spend $10,000 to go see Taylor Swift because I haven't seen her and I'm gonna go see her. And now you got the Knicks making it to the finals for the first time ever, and
yeah.
you've got courtside seats to the finals for the Knicks game in New York, starting at $100,000.
So what I
one
will
hundred
say
thousand
about that
dollars.
is the people that sit courtside in general,
are the
are
people who have that
filthy
money.
rich.
Yes, yes.
Like it's like I mean, obviously there's Celebrity Row.
Right.
Those people should all be paying $100,000.
Yes.
Because they can afford it, and that money should be the Knicks should be like splitting that money and doing something good with a lot of that money.
Exactly.
Because just ridiculous. You don't. That seat should not cost $100,000 per game. Like
Oh,
for the love of God, do something good with that money.
Like they are resale, so it's the people
Yeah.
who have those like season courtside seats that are trying to sell them and
But
get that
still,
money. But still,
Please,
exactly.
just do
It's,
something good with the money. Don't just be a selfish, greedy bastard.
and
which they're
please,
all
to
going
the idiots who
be.
have that money, don't spend that much on a ticket.
Yes.
If you pay attention to exactly what we just said, if you continue to feed this market of inflated tickets, it's going to continue increasing, and it's going to basically be impossible to see anything in life. It's already like. The IMAX tickets for Dune later this year are being sold on eBay for crazy money, because it's like that's being turned into the luxury experience of like, oh, an IMAX viewing of Dune in like a good proper seat. It's insane for the little man, but it's just all how the way the world is moving.
And
but
I will say, like, I have a certain amount of money set aside that I'm willing to spend this summer. I'm waiting for prices to drop because they're just simply ridiculous, and I think they are going to drop. How much longer am I going to hold out before I just start booking things?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I'm just taking it day by day, and I'm going to start checking prices daily.
Yeah, pretty soon. Like especially with the games that are being played at the. I still don't know exactly what games are being played in Toronto and like Philly, but like we got to look at some of those.
But overall, in general, I'm looking forward to it. I think from a standpoint of how it's ran and the public transportation side of things, it'll be a disaster. And like for the Europeans, if there's any of you watching us, please do not try to walk to MetLife Stadium. You will simply die.
Yeah, you can't get a hotel in New York and walk there.
You will be hit by a car if you try to cross the motorway.
You can't walk through the Lincoln Tunnel.
You can't.
As much as Elf likes to describe his journey into New York, traveling through the Lincoln Tunnel, you can't do it. You can't.
But back to the squad.
Yeah, we can dive in a little bit more on it, but I mean, the squad is there. We just to touch back on what you were talking with Roldan. He had 2 caps in the entire year of 2022 for that World Cup, so I don't believe he even played in that cup probably. So
I'm just checking the comments on the post right now.
Yeah.
So the main things are right now, no Luna. Obviously, a lot of people are very angry about, which I don't disagree with bringing Zendejas over Luna, because I think Zendejas is right now a better player. Club America legend, great club. My friends and I all love it because of our buddy and his dad, who's a huge Club America fan.
Okay.
The other ones, we're getting some of the troll ones, such as where's Diddy, where's Charlie Kirk, but yeah, no Yunus Musa. Can't say I'm surprised. He seemingly has fallen out of favor under Poch.
What's homie's name that's like 34 years old on Instagram, and he's like, I am
training
for replacement.
Yep, there's a lot of where's Neil Kennedy. There's a lot of Neil Kennedy. What happened, bro?
Right.
Neil Kennedy, you're like a goonball or a cornball. Like
it's like I will be playing in the World Cup this year.
Yep.
It's like
I mean, I agree with him. I think he should have gone and been on the plane. Who we take out?
Practice squad, man.
I mean, honestly, we could have just sent Neil Kennedy and we probably would have won. But now without him, like the guys, but like, I know it's just a bit for social media,
locker room spirit,
and I know
But here's the thing with that social media kind of thing. It's like when you ignore it, then it's something that could bite you in the ass. If you can kind of steer into it, you could have somebody like Danhausen curse the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then the Knicks go on a generational playoff run, 11 wins in a row.
Do you think we can get him to curse Arsenal? Because I hope we can.
Absolutely not. Danhausen actually Arsenal, put a curse out
OKC.
against who did it? The only So he what's it called? There's a guy the wrestler who's a Tottenham fan, and he said he put a curse, had Danhausen curse Tottenham opposition so that way Tottenham could stay up. So he supported Tottenham through the the
Danhausen's a bit of a weird Donnie, by the way.
Danhausen's great. It's hilarious.
I curse you, Cleveland.
As a
I'm
fuck,
like,
as, listen, so as a pro wrestling fan, he's been on my radar for years, and to see him now in the mainstream is just absolutely hilarious. He's been a funny fucking character for the longest time, and just like the way how he he's just such a quirky, and I want a courtside seat next to Timothy Chalamet and his girlfriend Kylie Jenner. It's just like he's been doing that shit for ages. Like when he talks about The Rock, he calls him The Rock Dwayne Johnson. So he fucks his name up like that. It's too funny, man. So like, if the Knicks are able to win this series, and well, they already won the series. If they win the finals, Danhausen gets a statue outside of MSG, and he's brought,
Unfortunately, if the Knicks win the championship, I don't think there's going to be a New York City
That's very true.
for him to have a statue in.
Yeah, man, because
like
MSG,
this will be like if the Knicks, if they win the championship, like if you aren't a Knicks fan, run, hide.
oh yeah,
You're not safe in the city of New York. Like
I'll tell you, yeah.
They're like, I mean, the videos, not to go too far off of our normal conversation, but the videos of the Knicks fans are one of one.
Oh yeah,
They are one of one fan base. They are one of one people.
They
They're
ran
hilarious.
to MSG last night just as Arsenal fans ran to the Emirates last Tuesday and this past Sunday. It's like it's a team and a city that has been aching for this moment, and
Yep.
Arsenal is in theirs. If the Knicks are in it too, like it is just a crazy year for Arsenal Knicks fans. And one of the best, Zoran Mamdani, my man. So, man, yeah, I feel like let's put a cap in it here. We can save more for convos next week. It'll be after the Champions League final. We can just kind of talk through things after that, and then do some World Cup previews. Maybe we can, predict some, folks who are going to make it out of the round of 16, stuff like that. And, I'm still waiting to hear back from some of y'all. All right, we're still waiting to hear back. Okay,
Please save us. Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Doué.
Very quiet.
Yeah, John Neves, Zaire Emery, or Fabian Ruiz, with both of you. I don't care which one of you starts. Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, Pacho, Marquinhos, Safanov. Please, I'm picking all of you. Save us. Do what you do best. Win. Just save us and win. I can't do it if you don't. Please, I'm begging you.
And
Dembele.
to play us out, we'll get the anthem in.
That's where I walk off set.